All right, Matt Light's back, and in this BotBuilders Basics video, we're gonna put it all together, help you not only understand how you can use AI and automation to grow, but lay out some of the exact steps to get there. Because look, automation is not a nice to have strategy, right? Most people think that automation is just something to do to save you some time or make things a little bit better, but it's way more than that. Automation is the key to driving more profit. And I'm not just talking about revenue, I'm talking about profit, because automation can increase your sales and do it with very, very little cost. And in this day and age, if you want to compete in this global economy, this attention economy that we live in, then automation is an absolute must. People are just getting bombarded by marketing messages everywhere that they turn, and ad costs, as you know, are through the roof. And automation gives you ways to help you capture more leads and then turn those leads into paying customers and to repeat paying customers. And the best part is that so few small businesses are utilizing this stuff. They should be, but they're not. And that's good news for you. So in this training, we're going to talk about using AI in a few different ways, all right? Number one is to help you use AI and automation to build, to help you put the pieces into place so that you can scale your business, those things that are going to really be the mainstays of your business. Number two is to use AI and automation to engage. All right, and we've talked about this a little bit in previous BotBuilders Basics videos, and we're going to expand upon that more here. And then number three is we're going to help you use AI and automation to convert. All right, they say that the fortune is in the follow-up, and that is absolutely true. And we'll talk about how to put the whole thing on autopilot. And I'll tell you this, especially when it comes to automated follow-up, this is the secret sauce of every successful business I've ever built. All right, and I shared earlier, you know, I've had my share of failures for sure. Namely, I lost a lot of money and a lot of time on a company called BoardGames.com, which I no longer own. That was very painful. But I've also founded and co-founded a number of multi-million-dollar businesses, a few which have now done well over $10 million a year. And automation has always been a huge part of those successful businesses. Now, don't get me wrong on this. None of that successful would have been, you know, possible without amazing people. And here at BotBuilders, we're not just about the technology. We're all about getting the machines, right, and the humans working together as one. And as you'll see, as we go through these examples, you'll see that, you know, it's that automation is just something that you can build once that keeps working forever. And one more important thing before we jump into the automation here, to do all of this, obviously you're going to need to have tools. And in previous BotBuilders Basics tools videos, we talked about building chat bots, and I recommended a tool that we use called ManyChat. And obviously it takes more than just a bot to build a business. You need to have a system that you can run your business with, right? It's something at the core of your business that you can use to store all your leads, to send your emails, to handle your payments. They call this a CRM system or some kind of, you know, all-in-one sales and marketing system. And there are a ton of these out there on the market. Some of them are better than others. But if you have a system that works for you, that's great. All right. Just know that any of these funnel systems, or pretty much any of them, you know, CRM systems, they're pretty much all good enough these days. You don't have to spend a ton of money, and, you know, you can use any of these systems and do a few $1 million a year. For the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to show you our all-in-one sales and marketing system. We call it Automator AI. We're super proud of it, and if I do say myself, it's pretty darn awesome. But the one thing that it does different than most CRM systems out there is all the awesome AI tools that are inside of it. And we'll look at just a few of these in the demo. But again, if you have a system in place that you like, the general premise of what I'm going to teach is basically the same on any system. And as you'll see, as we work on Automator AI, a lot of the work actually in Automator AI is even pre-built. All right, so, you know, if you have another system that's got pre-built funnels and all that stuff, then it's all good. I'm just telling you this because, you know, yes, it'd be great if to have you as a client, but if you got a tool, just keep using it. All right? All right, so with that said, let's jump into the first way to use AI and automation, and that is to build. All right, because if you're going to have a business that creates revenue with consistency and predictability, there's a lot of pieces that you have to have in place. So let's start out with our trusty whiteboard here. Now, to scale any business with predictability and consistency, you need to have a proven system in place. A way that you can take traffic, right, generate a lead, have automation working for you in the background, and then convert into sales all reliably. And the eventual goal here is, to grow this and expand this. You might want to have a bunch of traffic sources. So maybe, you might have Google ads. You might have affiliates that are sending you traffic. You might do Instagram, right? You want to do as many things as you can eventually, right? But at first, what you want to do is you want to keep this thing as simple as possible, right? Now, don't get me wrong, this is going to be a very sophisticated and advanced system, but the more things you try to do, the more complicated it gets, all right? So let's just keep this whole thing as simple as possible right now and just have one thing for each of these important pieces, all right? And I'll give you some real world examples here. Let's say your company sells widgets, okay? Let's just say that you sell widgets for $5, all right? Now, to sell your widgets, you're gonna run, let's say you run Google ads, great, all right? Then you need to send people somewhere to generate a lead. So let's just say that your lead generation, let's just say it's a lead magnet funnel. Okay, now you've probably opted in for many of these. Maybe it's like an ebook or whatever it is, right? So you got a Google ad, you send them to a lead generation page to generate the lead. All right, now we got automated workflows. Let's say you have an email autoresponder, and you might have text or whatever that's going on, right? And then your sales channel to sell this $5 widget. You don't need a salesperson to sell a $5 widget, and then you just got a sales page. Okay, and this simple process, if you can get this down, and again, you could have more sales channels, you could, have more workflows, but if you can just get one winning traffic source, one great lead generation funnel, you get your automated things in place and one sales channel, that's all you need to do $1 million in business. Okay, so this was an example selling a $5 widget. Okay, now let's take a step back and let's look at a different model. Let's say, for example, that you sell high ticket services, maybe coaching or consulting. All right, so let's just look at another example here. So let's say instead of doing Google ads, let's say you run Meta ads, like Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Instead of a lead magnet funnel, let's say you have an appointment funnel. Okay, you got email autoresponder, and then instead of a sales page, because nobody's going to buy an expensive coaching package off of a sales page, maybe you do Zoom calls. Okay, whatever that might be. But the key is understanding here that this is a flow. All right, so we're not going to go too deep on business models here, but the key is that you have a business model that is in place and working. In fact, this is the very first thing that we do with our accelerator clients is we get crystal clear on what their model is, all right? And if you're not familiar with the accelerator, it's our done for you and done with you services. But for now, let's just work from this model. Now, if you're new to all this stuff, I know that this might seem like a lot, but we're gonna get into the fun AI stuff right now because as you can imagine, if you were to start from scratch, this would take a lot of work. So instead, what we're gonna do is look at how automated AI can make all of this stuff so much easier. And it doesn't have to be automated AI, it could be any tool. But what we've done is so much of this hard work for you, not only with the AI tools, but also with the pre-built stuff. So let's check out the demo. And poof, we're on my laptop. So what we're gonna do here is do a quick demo and show you funnels. We're inside of Automator AI. This is our dashboard. You probably won't have this much revenue when you first get into yours, but we'll work on that. So if you wanna look at your funnels, you'll come over here on the left and click on Sites. And then what we've done, and again, we've got way more stuff in ours than you will in yours, but we do have a ton of different pre-built funnels here. We have them by niche, different categories, but if we click on the pre-built funnels, you'll see all of these awesome funnels that are already built in here. And if you kind of fast forward, you can see these are all appointment funnels. Let me blow it up a little bigger so you can see it here. All right, but if you fast forward, you'll see different kinds of funnels. They got lead magnet funnels, limited time offer funnels, quiz funnels, webinar funnels, you name it. All right, but just to kind of go back, we talked about doing an appointment funnel. So let's click on this one. This was Aqua Bliss. Oh, sounds delightful. All right, so if we were to take a look at this, and you'll see there's different pages here to work from, but let's go ahead and just kind of take a quick glance at this guy. All right, so you'll see this is, beautiful funnel right out of the gates, but there's a lot of information to fill in here. Your catchy headline title here, lorem ipsum, all of this kind of stuff. So let's go back into Automator AI. Okay, so over here on the left-hand side, this is where you're going to see Marketing AI. Now, just admittedly, a lot of these tools are ones that we've white labeled from other companies. Marketing AI, Design AI, these are 100%. You will not get these anywhere else, all right? So when you get in Marketing AI, you're going to see you can create all sorts of stuff. You can create ebooks, articles, blogs, advertisements, email copy, funnel copy, boom, all right? So if we want to write a funnel, we just click on this bad boy. What kind of funnel are we creating? Oh, it was an appointment funnel. All right, what kind of problem are we solving? Let's say helping stop smoking. All right, what's a desired action is to hire us to consult for them. What incentive are you providing for taking action? We'll say a stop smoking guide. What specific details do you want to have included? Let's put proprietary 3-step stop forever method. All right, just like that. Boom, it goes to work. And what's doing is now it's giving you options to work from. You can just pick whatever you want, put it into your funnel. And what's great is if you want to write other stuff, right? Remember, it's all about building, getting these things rocking. You can click create. You can have it write other things for you. Oh, what do you want to write? You want to write emails. You want to have it write ads. You can write entire ebooks with this thing. In fact, you not only can write ebooks, you can even design ebooks here using our AI tools. So much cool stuff that you can do with this thing. All right, but just wanted to kind of show you when it comes to building, a lot of time can be saved. So the bottom line to all this is you can use AI to build so much faster than you would alone, especially when you got a really cool tool like Automator AI that puts it all together to help you do it. So that brings us to number 2. The second way you can use AI and automation is to engage with your visitors. And this is one of the best ways to do it is using bots. And we talked about bots quite a bit in the BotBuilders Basics series earlier. But bots, they're kind of like your secret weapon. You can use bots in so many different ways. For example, you could add a bot to your funnel, right? You add one of those bad boys right here and attach it to this guy, right? Or if you're, let's say you got the Instagram, right? You can actually have a bot directly on your Instagram that allows people to give you a lead without even having to go to your website. So there's so many different ways that you can integrate these things. You could have, people on your Instagram leave a comment and that triggers a bot to engage them. They could send you a message on Instagram that sends a message to engage them. So many bots, voice bots like we talked about. Our premium version of Automator AI also does voice bots. But I'll spare you the bot talk because I could talk about that for days because it could be text message, could be social, could be DM, wherever it is that you want to engage people and capture more leads, you need to have a bot. All right, that brings us to point number 3, which is to use AI and automation to convert. All right, to help someone to raise their hand, show some kind of interest on some level, to get them to pull out their credit card, sign the contract, whatever it is you got to do to make that cash register ring. And here's the deal. Now more than ever, people are not always so quick to trust you or trust your business right away, all right? And the reason that we focus so much on the follow-up is people need the additional touch points to really get to know you, right? To want to do business with you. At this point, relationship building should be a key focus of your business, especially if you want to do this thing at scale. It's just really too competitive not to, right? And there's a lot of ways that you can automate. There's a lot of different ways, especially at BotBuilders. Like when you start working with us, you'll see we're all about the automation. I mean, just alone on Instagram and Facebook, there's so many different things. But the number one thing that I recommend that you do, or any business do, is just a good old-fashioned autoresponder. All right, one that has email and text messages. All right, when we talk to people or we have clients in our accelerator, we've got some ninja tricks, right? Stuff that's like pretty mind-blowing. But at first, if you're doing this on your own, just keep it simple, okay? And you probably already know what an autoresponder is, right? You've probably been in one before, maybe you've been in ours. But the crazy thing is that most business owners know what an autoresponder is and they know they should have one and they just don't do it. Why? Because it's hard for them to write. It's hard for them to set up, or at least it was before AI. So we're going to jump back into Automator AI here real quick and show you how to do this with AI. Okay, back on the computer. If you want to write an email sequence, what do? Well, you just go right here and hit email copy. Boom. All right, what do we want? Single email sequence. All right, how about a welcome sequence? Cool. All right, who's your audience? Smokers. All right, what problem do they have? Can't stop smoking. What's the name of my company? Stop Forever. I don't know. What does your company sell? Smoking consulting. Don't know how I got on this example, but what's the name of whose name are on the 3 emails? Just say mine. Okay, what's the relationship? Owner and CEO. Okay, what value can they expect? Tips to learn how to stop the easy way. What specific points would you like to include? Let's say the 3-step stop forever formula. What's the most important action you want them to take? Sign up for free strategy session. Okay, what voice? Let's make it fun. And what it's doing now is it's generating some headlines. All right, so there's subject lines. So this is for email 1, which is the immediate welcome. Ready to puff your last smoke. All right. Subject line 2, educational value. I like that one. And of course, you can come down here and write your own subject lines if you wanted to, but it just gives you some flexibility. Okay. And just like that, it's writing your email sequence for you. All right, I'll see email 2 here in just a second. Email 3, email 4. Okay, unlike other AI tools, this is designed to actually create a sequence that's going to speak to people. All right, this is an entire sequence that by the time they get to the end, they're going to have a relationship and be ready to do business with you. Now, let's pretend you want to write text messages. What do? Well, you can always go up here, hit create, write for me. What do we want to write? Text messages, and go through the exact same process. And honestly, this thing is so easy to use that you don't really need a demo. You just get in here and just follow the step-by-step instructions. Again, if you don't use Automator AI, that's okay. I do think it's the best system on the planet like this, especially if you want to save some money and you want some amazing customer support. We call it legendary support, but the important thing here is that you use AI to get these things into place. And when you have a system like this, when you've got all the pieces working together, right? You've got the traffic that's turning into the leads, the automated systems, the sales channels, all this stuff is dialed in, right? So in this example, you've got, over here where you've got Zoom calls, this would go into what's called a sales pipeline. Right? And this is a feature in Automator AI. A lot of other systems have it. Not all of them do. But when you get all of these things working together, we call this a well-oiled machine. It's such a beautiful thing. And I'm going to shoot you straight here. All right? When you look at this, you might go, wow, Matt, that's so much. And look, I totally understand. And if you're brand new, sometimes this stuff can be a little bit overwhelming. But the reality of it is, without a system, a predictable, reliable system to turn traffic into sales, you'll never get to where you want to go. And I'm just going to shoot you straight. I know a lot of those gurus out there want to tell you that this stuff is easy. I will never, ever say that. But what I will say is that it's so much easier now, thanks to AI and thanks to automation. At the end of the day, it's all about getting committed and just getting started. All right, so if you'd like to use our tools, or if you'd like to take advantage of our done-for-you services, let's talk, and you'll probably see a link somewhere on this page. But even if you want nothing to do with me or with BotBuilders, if you take nothing more away from this, from all this time that you've now spent with me, I want you to take this away. Now is the time, like right now. I have no idea where AI and all this stuff is going to be in 20 years. For all I know, robots will end up being our overlords. I hope not, right? Let's pray. But I can't control that, and neither can you. All we can do is control what matters in this moment and how we can use this amazing technology that's in front of us. And if BotBuilders can help, I can't wait to see what we can do together. So with that said, this is Matt Light signing off. We're in this together. Take care.